How many of you have a big Thanksgiving meal every year with turkey, stuffing, gravy, all the Thanksgiving things? So most of you. So how many of you feel exhausted after a Thanksgiving meal and feel like you need to take a nap? So a lot of you. I feel like that's how I've felt every year after Thanksgiving until the most recent year. A plant-based diet compared to a meat-based diet is much better for our bodies and the environment. So I'm not going to talk to you today and try and make you never eat meat ever again. I'm just going to explain why changing to a plant-based diet has had such a big effect on my everyday life. Today I'm going to talk about the problem, the cause, and the solution to why meat is taking a toll on our bodies and the environment. Many people have strong opinions on why meat is either good or bad. So I'm just going to talk to you today about a few of the problems that come with eating meat. The first problem is that many new studies are starting to link meats to cancer. A study from Healthline writes, some observational studies link a high meat intake to several types of cancer, including digestive tract, prostate, kidney, and breast cancers. Out of all of these cancers, colon cancer has shown the highest risk of an increase in meat eaters. So not only does meat increase your risk of many different cancers, it can also lead to heart disease and type 2 diabetes. So that same article from Healthline writes, several large studies have also shown an association between processed meat and type 2 diabetes. So there's been many studies that have shown that eating lots of meat can link to, not even a lot of meat, just eating meat can link to type 2 diabetes. So 3 different studies found that consuming only half a serving of meat a day can increase your risk of diabetes by 30% by just eating a half serving a day, which is crazy. The last problem with eating meat is that it doesn't just affect our bodies, it affects the environment. So I found another article named Meat in the Environment, and in this article they write, globally, animal agriculture is responsible for more greenhouse gases than all of the world's transportation systems combined. So meat factories and just meat consumption is way more responsible for greenhouse gases than all the transportation, which is insane. So not only does meat production have a huge effect on the greenhouse gases, it also has a big effect on the water usage in the US and all around the world. So that same article writes, it takes an enormous amount of water to grow crops for animals to eat, to clean the animal factories, and to give animals water to drink. By going plant-based, one person alone can save 219,000 gallons of water a year by just one person changing their diet. There are many causes to why people decide to have meat in their diet. So I think the first main cause is that it's just very convenient. Almost all restaurants sell and serve meat at fairly low prices, so it makes it an easy choice. There are very few restaurants up in the north. I live in Minnesota and in Wisconsin, and there are very few restaurants that will even have a plant-based or vegan option most of the time. Another reason that people eat meat is that people all over the world have been eating meat for thousands and thousands of years. But just because people have been eating meat for a very long time doesn't mean it's good for our bodies. Since people have been eating meat for so long, they just have started to assume that it's good for our bodies. So I think that the solution to a plant-based diet is very doable, but you have to be wanting and willing to make a change in your everyday lives and your diet. So the first change I'm going to talk about that you can make is to just start eating more and more vegetables with your meal, with every meal. Making veggies the main part of your meal will change the way that you think and see meat. The next change you can make is to have at least one plant-based meal a week. This is how I started off. On a plant-based diet, I started off with one meal a week, and it slowly turned into more and more meals a week. So a next big change you can make is that just to do your research on the diet. This diet isn't going to be for everyone, but just doing the research and learning more about the diet and the effects it can have on your body is a good step to fixing the problem. So looking back on what I've talked about, I started off talking about a few of the problems with eating meat and how it affects not only our body but also the environment. I then touched on a few reasons why people decide to eat meat in their everyday lives. And lastly, I talked about a few of the ways you can help your body to feel better and how to have less of an impact on the environment. So in conclusion, this diet isn't going to be for everyone, but if you do decide to change to a plant-based diet, I can assure you that you will feel happier every day and more energized after all your meals, and you'll just be healthier longer.